very nice, and because I haven't performed in Toronto, well, actually about 20 minutes ago. Before that, it was a long time. So coming back is cool and stuff. And I was earlier, a guy was showing me this YouTube of Billy Bob, and coincidentally, I know Billy Bob, and because I love country music and stuff. And so I watched the interview, and he was saying crazy shit. But the one thing that he said that wasn't crazy was the mashed potatoes thing. That was the true thing he said. That, we know as Canadians we are reserved compared to Americans. We know that. And like the biggest country music star that ever existed in Canada, Stompin' Tom Connors. Dan had 2 songs about potatoes. Never mentioned gravy once. So the other part was kind of crazy shit is the Monster magazine to the show. But no, I like country music. I like old time. I don't like the new music. Is that right to say faggy music? It doesn't mean homosexual, you know what I mean? It just means, you understand. We're all cool here. Now you see country music, you guys don't know, because that was the old time country music where it's fucking cool. Now, I saw a video of a man wearing a white suit on a cloud, and then a lady in a white, what the fuck? I don't know what that is, but it's not country. Country, all about booze. Since I said fag, I didn't mean to. I will say this. I'm not a homophobe. People think sometimes I'm homophobic. Oh, he's homophobic, Mr. Homophobic. Just because listen, I have no problem with gay guys. They can do whatever they want. But just don't put my face on it. That's the only thing. You know, like I joined a gym there in LA. I want to work on my abs and they just get hairier. The point is this. I don't like the locker room. Because when I go to a gym, the abs, the latissimus dorsi, all that shit. I want to work on that. See? The last thing I want to do is go into that goddamn locker room, and see some guys, hot, shiny, beautiful cock. That's not what I want. Work out. That makes me homophobic, that makes me homophobic. I go on the treadmill and walk trudge on the treadmill until my heart rate goes up 2.5 times the thing. A third of an hour. That's why I'm there. That's why I'm at. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm at the gym. I am not at the gym. To go in that goddamn locker room and hide behind a locker and stare at a guy's beautiful ass, wearing 2 nice red hot balls. I don't got time. First of all, I'm a busy guy. I can't spend 30, 40 minutes fucking staring at the right That's not for me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I go there to do mats. Mats. I go on, I have Pilates. Mats Pilates. And I do things with them. I push. And I do that. I do all kinds of shit. You gotta work everything. You gotta, because this part here, the quad, that actually helps and the ab help, everything. That's why I go to the gym, and it's very important. Fitness is probably one of the most important things. A sound body makes for a sound mind, but what I don't want to But I'm Mr. Homophobia. Hey, remember the movie Brokeback Mountain? Now, I love westerns. That's my favorite genre. Not like a western for me, you know. But Brokeback Mountain, I'll tell you something. That wasn't no goddamn western. A western is a genre that has certain rules that must be strictly adhered to. And Brokeback Mountain, you can't just put a couple of hats on the guys and call it a western. A western is the sheriff. The guy's coming back, he got out of jail, he's on his way. The sheriff is scared, but he's the sheriff, and the townsfolk, maybe they'll be behind, don't know. You know? Elmer, the blacksmith, he put a horse and wagon out back. Just in case, he said, you know? There's no shame to it, sheriff, he says. And then you go, what's going to happen? You know, what's going to happen? That's a western, you know? You know what a western is not? It's two super hot guys fucking each other. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's not a western. You want to see a western, you see, you know, John Wayne, that's the prototypical western, you know? Pick it up, Liberty. That's a western. I'll pick it up. People shooting each other over a piece of meat. That's a western. I'm your Huckleberry. That's a western. But what is not a western is a close-up of a beautiful, shiny, hot red cockhead piercing a beautiful asshole. Plus, that's not even in the fucking movie. It's not my cup of tea, but you gotta do the goddamn thing, do it right. That's not a western. I don't know what it is. But that's the homophobia. Just because. And when westerns come to the big screen, that's why I was so excited about Brokeback Mountain. They hardly ever come to the big screen because they say, you know, westerns dead. Westerns never dead. Always come back. You know what I'm saying? Always. And that's why I always, whenever it's in the theater, I like watching westerns in the theater. And a guy with a black hat, he's standing, he's only about 40 yards from the guy with a white hat there. The one guy is not going to be after. Right? Smoke clears, only been one man standing, you know that. So you go, come on, Sheriff, come on. That's what I like to be. I like to be at the back of the theater. Come on, Sheriff, come on. Man. Last thing I want to be is at the back of the theater fucking whacking out shiz all over. Splashing 4 cups of jizz all over some goddamn Frank. Frank. Talk about homophobic guys. What about that fucking French? Punch me in the jaw, the fucking guy. Can you imagine a guy can be so insecure about his sexuality that just the fact that I jizzed all over his face, all of a sudden he's questioning us, you know what I mean? I think we all know that Frank is a little bit...
Artie rules.
Oh, Artie, yeah, he's a good guy, man. You talking about Artie, man?
Yeah!
He's a good guy. I'm a little worried about him, but you know, but he's doing all right now. But you know, everybody got their demons to fight. You know what I mean? And in Artie's case, is heroin and alcohol and stuff. Everybody though, you know. Hey, what about me? I got demons. When I tell you the demons I'm fighting, you're gonna not think anything, Artie's. I have literal demons. Sam and Ralph. Sam ain't so bad. He shoves bucketfuls of coal up my ass. But this Frank guy with his goddamn, is that his name, Frank? No. He has one of these tridents, you know, he's fucking drunk. He's fucking trident. And they're always pretending they know the devil. Well, these guys are real low-run demons. Every day, what can I do? I'm a good Christian. Get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I'm a follower of the Nazarene. Any Christians here? When I was young, see, everybody was Christian. You didn't even have to ask, just everybody would be Christian. Nowadays, I tell people I'm Christian, and I think they think I'm telling them I'm a retard. But that's the way it goes. It goes, it ebbs and flows. I know a guy, you maybe know this guy. You know Bill Maher, the comedian Bill Maher? He thinks I'm a fucking retard. And he made a movie, you know, about religion and stuff. But he came, I talked about he's a nightclub comic, you know, like me. We talk into this. That's what we do for a living. And so I was talking about 4 years ago. He said, hey, man, I'm making a movie. So I said, oh, what's it about? I said, do you go to the moon, and then when you get there, everybody there is a woman? He's like, no. I said, oh. I said, it's a movie where maybe you're a kid who never grew up, you know, and you're like, but your father, he has a big business and stuff, and then he dies. You have to take over the business, and you're no good. You know, is that kind of thing? He's like, no. I'm like, well, what the fuck's your movie? He's like, oh, my movie is I prove God does not exist. So I was like, oh. It's perfect. What better movie for a nightclub comic to make? Apparently Bill Maher, you know, when he had time there, apart from his smoking pot and being with whores all the time, he was an amateur theologian and figured out that question that's plagued mankind since Who knows? Nobody knows. This is the thing. This is why I tell you the reason I believe, this is the reason, is because you got to look at the evidence. You know, that's what you have to look at. Now, so you go, hey, what's the evidence that God exists? Zero. There's not. There isn't any. That's not good. But then you can't stop there, you understand? Then you guys say, what's the evidence God does not exist? Zero. None. So, now you're in a fucking pickle. Plus, one of them for sure is true. Then, all you can do at this point is hazard a wild guess. That's all that's left. And evidence is non-existent on both sides. So what I do, just like when I'm shopping, I look at both sides. I go, what you got? I go, my thing is when you die, you go up on a cloud, play a harp. I go, God damn, I like to play a harp. How about you? They put you in the earth and they put some dirt on you. I'm going to talk to this guy for a second. Anything else in yours? Yes, your loved ones will all be there to meet you when you die. No kidding. Yeah. And your dog. What, Barky? You know, as a kid, you talk about Barky? Yeah, Barky will be there. Holy man, I love Barky. Hey, is Barky going to be there with your thing? No, just dirt. Oh, that's all you got? I'm going with this guy. All right. Also, I would not put that in your pamphlets. I guess that's why you don't see atheists like on the side of the street like, nothing means anything. I'll just get old and sick and die. Anybody got any orders? But I understand because people, I think what Bill Maher, you can't see the forest for the trees. He gets all confused about God and he starts talking about people. You know, people, they'll do anything. Like, so a priest will fuck a kid. They love fucking kids. They don't have nothing to do with God. That's just the guy God. You know, a guy with a black thing and then you got a white thing over here. You don't think for a second God is telling him to do that. No, God doesn't care for that. I don't care for that. And God is a much nicer fellow than me. But I think that's what's trying to hurt Christianity, you know. Like evangelists, some people, you know, I don't align myself with any evangelist, but I got a pastor where I live, and he does good work, and he's a good man, you know. But evangelists, I don't like him, you know, because, man, sometimes I see him, it doesn't even seem to be about the Bible. I see him, they'll be just standing in front of a building or something going, hey, you got $20? I'm building something that I run out of money. Bigger than God, oh God, now you know how things are. Overruns and stuff, you know. $20 or $10. Basically panhandlers. Very well spoken, very good speakers. $5. $5. Seriously? I can divide by 2. Up to $5, then it gets tricky. Then he's not such an exponential wizard. So anyways, I got like a little bit of, you know, I still, listen man, I'm not, when I say I'm Christian, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. This, first of all, the worst thing about being Christian is you got to try to talk other people into being Christian. And that's not my fucking, I'd rather be up in heaven playing a harp watching somebody getting raped by the devil. I think it would be more fun to see my friends being raped by the devil. But I don't like the fucking world. And so, after a while, people stop inviting me to parties. That's what happens with that. So I kind of lapsed. I'm a lapsed Christian in that way, that I don't really do what I should do, which is, you know, blow up abortion clinics. That's what I should be doing. But I don't really have the courage of my own courage. That's all right. Doubting Thomas was the best one of all. You know, because Christians, I'll tell you something, you know, as a Christian, that we don't learn, you know? We don't learn. Like, for instance, you think about it, right? This is a Christian nation, you know? And when you think about it, we still eat apples. Now, that seems, it's on page 2 of the fucking book. Now, I like the apple as much as the next guy, you know? I like it. Macintosh, you know, a Rome, you know, like a Rome apple. Fiji, you know, like Red Delicious. I don't know how they got to name their fucking apple that. I go, my name's Macintosh. I call my apple Macintosh. Hey, I'm called it Rome after this used to be a city. And still is, I think. I named it Rome. Anyways, how about you, Frank? Red Delicious. What the fuck? You can't do that. I already named it. Well, hey, fuck this shit, man. Well, you named yours Macintosh. Yeah, but it doesn't. You can't. That doesn't. Indirectly, you're gonna pretend that all other red apples are undelicious. Don't you see? You know what you're fucking doing, Frank. Tell me you don't know. But anyway, I am not the eating apple. That's my big thing. I don't eat it. Because I don't know if you've read the first few pages, but what happened was, at the beginning, you know, everything was good. It's not like now where my back hurts because of my dismemberment or something. And there was this stick that was like right there. I thought it was a spleen, a hockey stick, right there. Boom. I thought it was a spleen at first. It wasn't. But anyways, my back hurts. But anyways, the point is that back then it didn't. No one's, you know, they had a garden. And everybody loves a garden. And Adam and Eve, there were two people. It was before the big population explosion. And they were in a garden, you know, a nice garden, you know. They can do anything they want, right? God, the nicest guy ever. He says, anything you want, sure, anything. But then as he's leaving, he says, listen, man, I'm going to come visit you once in a while. And I happen to like apples. So I'm going to have an apple tree here. And so when I come down, I can have an apple and chat with you, and you can do whatever you want. Right? So like, yeah, that's cool, right? Next fucking page. Eve's like, And I love women, you know what I mean? I have nothing but respect for women. In some ways, I think they're nicer looking than men. I respect women, and I'm more comfortable around women. But I don't like women that hurt me, and if there's anybody that hurt me more than anything, it was that fucking evil. I mean, it's just our luck that the first woman ever lived, also the dumbest fucking whore. God damn it. And then Adam fucking finds her, you know, he stumbles through the garden, sees her there, and good Lord, I don't know what was going through his mind. It had to be the worst fucking, you know, like imagine if you go home and your wife is sucking a guy's cock. Imagine that times like a billion. That's what you would see if you saw eating an apple. Just be walking back, diddly-diddly. Hey, what the fuck? What's that? That's not, oh God almighty. Is that a pomegranate or something? Bosco. It looks kind of, no, it's not, it's an apple. But she had a good reason, though. She got some advice from a snake. When you put it in context, you understand. I don't care how big an atheist you are. You could be Madeline Murray O'Hare, you could be Bill Maher, or Christopher Hitchens, or Spinoza, or Nietzsche. Would you ever take advice from a goddamn snake? I wouldn't. I wouldn't take advice from a snake, even if it was a question of a reptilian nature. Even if it was a question about snakes. I would not take the snake's advice. I'd prefer to take just some Chinaman or something. I'm sorry, I said Chinaman. I forget sometimes. Because plus also, I don't really, as far as racial epithets go, Chinaman, literally a man from China. I would get that offended by that. The one I don't get is Indian, man. That's to me the most offensive one, and yet people still use it. I don't understand that one. That to me is more offensive than any other one ever, on account of, you know, I haven't had any formal education or anything, you know, or informal education. It's not like I spend my weekends with Marshall McLuhan. Is he still alive? But I do know this. From what I understand, Christopher Columbus came over here, right? And then he came over. I guess he came over to America. So I don't know how the fuck Canada happened. Because I grew up in Canada and I just took American history. I remember there was a guy named Jacques Cartier, but my dad didn't like him because he was French. So he wouldn't let me study a lot of the things. But anyways, back to the Indians, which is what I came here to tell you. I pulled down a big fucking pointer and stuff. No, I understand, and you may know better, but Columbus came over, and he thought he was in India. He fucking came here on more North American continent, and he thought he was in India. So he gets off the boat and stuff, and he's like, hey, look at all the Indians, you know. Naturally, he thinks he's in India, right? He's like, hey, they look funny with their feathers in their heads, all right? Oh, man, look at all the Indians. And then a guy comes up to him and he'll go, hey, Chris, listen, buddy, we fucked up somewhere along because I'm looking at the map, and then we took a wrong turn here in the middle of the ocean, and we're not in India, we're in America. Yeah. And then Christopher Columbus goes, oh, hey, you Indians, get the fuck out, you're in the wrong country. Your country's way over here. You come from India. And then we still say Indians. They say, guy's an Indian giver. We're the ones that fucking fuck them, right? How did that one ever start? Or whatever, they like to drink their booze, though. I love booze. I mean, we all love booze. They especially love booze. I don't drink myself. I used to. I'd do anything. Man, it didn't matter. I would just drink. When I was young, you know, now I'm afraid of dying, but when I was young, I didn't know, I didn't think I was going to die. I was going, fuck it, I'm not. I don't even know why people do that. And so I felt invincible. I would just drink, anything. People would hand me pills, especially pills. I go, that was from the doctor. Retarded. I say retarded too much. Obviously, when I say retarded, I mean people with Down syndrome. I would do anything. I did the worst, most powerful drug I ever did, LSD. Any of you guys ever do LSD? That is a strong, goddamn. I haven't done since I was 17 years old. I did about 4 days before I did LSD. And people warned me, man. They said, you got to watch that LSD on account of, you know, if you do it, then you get a flashback. Like 10, 20 years later, you get a flashback.
Oh, shit!
So I thought, that seemed like a good idea. So I went to my local drug dealer, Ralph. And I says to him, Ralph, I hear that you got a product where I eat it, I get high now, and then 20 years later I get high again. I said, to that? I like to think of myself as a guy who likes to stretch his drug dollar, you know? So, that was a good, you know, long term. It's like a RSP or something. Gave him my $5, and I gave my... Anyways, turns out there was no flashback. It's been long since 10 and 20 years since I have done LSD, and no flashback at all. You know, nothing, just big, huge jip, just more, you know what it is, more horse shit by the big acid company. Trying to get you to buy. They don't fucking care about you. The little guy, you know, the consumer, they don't. If you think that the acid conglomerates in this give a good goddamn about you, there's no hope. I can't help you. Fool's paradise. All they care about is third quarter profits. You ever say things you don't know what it means, but you know it fits. That's what I did right there. Third quarter profits. My friend, alcoholic Bobby, he comes, this guy, you know, that's not his name, alcoholic Bobby. That's not his nickname. No, my friend Bobby is, he came and he said he's an alcoholic, which is a serious thing. He said, I have the disease of alcoholism, and I said, that's a terrible thing. But I always try to look at the bright side, cheer people up. I said, Bobby, you know, as far as diseases go, I think you got the best one. Not exactly bowel cancer. It's the only disease where you get to drink booze all the time. In fact, that is the disease. Always drinking booze. So, you know, if you had to choose, it's probably the one you'd go. Not to minimize it though, because you know you know it's a hell of a thing to admit something like that. To say that you're weaker than you know, because man, as you know from you don't know from your scriptures, but I do. Man is pride, you know, his vanity and pride. He got a little bit of over here of bone, but mostly vanity and pride. You know? So to stand up and to say I'm weak and I can't, I'm beyond. So he goes to Alcoholics Anonymous and he gets up in front of a whole group full of people very courageously and he confesses that he's an alcoholic. You know, he admits it right out there. He says he's an alcoholic, which does not seem that anonymous. I know that. You know, I didn't name the fucking group. Seems like the exact opposite of anonymous. Like the anonymous alcoholics would be like, you fuckers. I don't know which one is your alcoholics and which one is just drink booze. But once you fucking tell a whole church basement, then your cover's kind of blown. What they seem to be anonymous about is their last name. That's their big thing. They will not tell you their last name. They'll tell you anything about booze. The most horrific stories you've ever heard. But nothing, man, they will not tell you about their last name. You know, they'll go, my name, they'll say their first, just their first name. My name is Bob, and I am an alcoholic. Then they'll tell, sometimes they'll like put the first initial of their last name. They'll go, I am Bob J, and I am an alcoholic. And then, good God, they'll say anything, you know? They go, I remember one time I was under the influence of the demon rum, and I started pounding my own son. He was only 2. Punch him in my... I looked down and my hands are ghastly red. I don't know where the gore had come from. My knuckles are my own son's skull. I'm not telling you my last name. Man has a right to a little bit of... One time I blew a dog for a pint of gin. All right, J is the first letter. I'll tell you that much. As far as I go now. Later, beeswax, as far as I'm concerned. Plus, you didn't look at my face and memorize it. But other than that, I prefer if this remained completely anonymous. And what better way to keep a secret than tell a room full of drunks? That's not leaving the room, guys. First time a guy has a relapse, hey, little dog for a pint of gin. No, it wasn't. That was Bobby. Yeah, I can understand the dog had some gin. What the fuck was I going to do? The guy didn't have something in his tooth, but I do. The actor who was portraying the alcoholic relapse guy had a little piece of pork chop in his tooth. There we go. I'm going to eat it now. Very good. Do you do that? Do you eat it after you get it? I don't know the etiquette on that, but I've been after it all goddamn. I had a pork chop today at this restaurant. Something occurred to me. I had some pork chop. And in a restaurant, you know, when you eat a pork chop, we've all eaten pork chops in restaurants, right?
What do you like in the fifth?
Pardon me?
What do you like in the fifth? What?
I know it's a horse racing. What do I like in a horse racing? Is there a famous horse named Pork Chop? I'm not good with English. I don't know what the fuck to ever do. First of all, I never understand what they're saying. Secondly, I can't bring myself to, because I've seen guys go,
Jay knows exactly.
I'll stiff up your cock. Cock, that's the fifth. I don't know how to do that shit. I just get confused. But what I came here to tell you about was the pork chop. That's really why I'm here. And I ate a pork chop at a restaurant, and it suddenly occurred to me, as, I don't want to further alienate you, but as, you know, Paul, when he was wide, no, forget it. It suddenly occurred to me that you eat a pork chop differently at a restaurant at home. Like you would never at home go, hey man, I'm going to make myself a delicious pork chop. I'll fry it here in my skillet, you know, and I'll turn it over until it gets nice and hot on both sides. But while that's getting hot, I think I'll eat a big fucking loaf of bread. Just rip it apart my hands, slide a fucking butter on it, get it all up. And that way my appetite will be good for when the pork chop's ready. You're like a fucking Down syndrome or something. And also desserts. A guy running dessert in the old days, a guy, you know, at a restaurant after your dinner, a guy would show up and he'd go, what would you like, an apple pie or a cherry pie? You know? And then you go, I would like an apple pie or a cherry pie. It doesn't matter. I don't want to polarize the audience and provoke some sort of soccer fuel. So, now it's different. It's not the man with the sheep. A guy comes out with a big tray and he's got all this stuff on it. He talks to you all weird. He's like all sexual. He's like, I tempt you. We have chocolate. This has chocolate inside. We decadent. You're like, what the fuck? Hey, I'm a felon, you're a felon. Why are you? We're still talking about the desserts here, too, right? No one there blowing you in the back or anything. Easily trippable. Sometimes I'm like that. And I don't want to end up in the kitchen, you know, going, hey, wait a second. We were talking about raspberry torte earlier, weren't we? I don't care much for you, Buster. I'll tell you. My word is my bond, so I continue, but reluctantly. Hey man, hockey man, that's fucking cool. I'm so happy to be home for hockey. God damn, man, I don't get anything. We can't fucking see it in the States and shit. Because I grew up, you know, we all grew up with dreams. I grew up, my dream when I was a young boy was to be a professional hockey player. Everybody has a dream. You may have had a dream of being a professional hockey player, you know? This guy probably had a dream of being a professional hockey player. There's all kinds of dreams. Then you grow up and you're not a professional hockey player. Professional hockey players and then the fucking rest of us. But you're accepted at some point. But I love hockey. I always dreamed of winning the Stanley Cup, man. Hoisting it above my head. Calder trophy. I thought I'd win that too. I thought I'd win all the trophies. Hockey, I'll tell you one thing. Hockey is the only sport where they have a trophy that nobody wants to win. The Lady Bing. That's for the most gentlemanly hockey player. Gentlemanly is not an adjective that a hockey player would want attributed to himself. You understand? May as well call it the pussy. I mean, it's even after a lady. And my
come on now.
Right. Your mic's fucked.
Love you, Norman.
Check Michael.
Back up.
Raffy's a good man. Thank you.
Way to go, Poindexter!
Yeah. Fuck. Guy fixes it. There's a problem, man fixes the problem. What's actually interesting about Raffy is that he was named after the children's entertainer. Right? Is that interesting? Cool good, cool good. I saw Raffy one time, man. Hey, you know I saw once? I saw this, you ever see a hypnotist? I saw this guy, guy's name was Ravine the Impossibilist. You know that fucker? This guy he'd bring people up on stage, right? And then he talks to them and shit, right? And then he goes, go do stuff. You're a chicken. And then the fucking guy's a chicken. He thinks he's a chicken. So he's like, well, that's not how a chicken sounds. Cluck, or whatever. And then you talk moon language or something like that. The guy's all of a sudden he's talking like he's from the moon. Like, I don't think people inhabit the moon, but he could speak moon. Anyway, he could talk these fuckers into anything, right? So I saw my brother, and then later on, I was in the parking lot, and I saw the fucking guy that was the chicken, right? So I says to him, I says to him, I says to him,
I think another
I said, how did that
perhaps.
feel like being thinking you were a chicken? He
Dry.
goes, oh, it was cool.
Dry.
And then I knew it was complete horseshit. Because can you imagine your actual reaction? Like if someone said, hey, how's it feel being a chicken? You'd be like, I thought it was a chicken. I'm gonna go try it again. I'm gonna go try to get on with my life. That would be a reaction. You wouldn't go, that's cool. That's why I used to smoke. I would not go to hypnosis because people would tell me, go get hypnotized. Quit smoking. I didn't want to do that, you know? Because I didn't want to be like that. I didn't want to go, man, I quit smoking. Good news and bad news. I quit smoking. Bad news is I got no free will, it turns out. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to smoke. Ravine the impossible. He even says in his fucking name, he says it's impossible. He says to avoid lawsuits or something. Now that I think about it, where the fuck did I even go? It says right on, it's impossible. Ravine the fraud. Macdonald. I guess Ravine sounds like Raffy. I'm talking about Ravine the Impossible. I don't know why I'm talking about anything ever. So it all works out in the long run. Hey, I thought you ever think of something wise? I thought of this thing. Hey, better sorry than safe. Right? You know the opposite things, you know, usually they're wise, right? So, anyways, this was my latest one, but I thought of many wise things, right? But then when I tell people, I go, hey man, I thought this wise thing, better sorry than safe. They're like, ah, that's retarded. It's not wise at all. I go, oh, and then I feel bad about myself. But I know, and then I realize it's just because it's me. So now I have a trick. Whenever I think of something wise, right? I go, hey! As Winston Churchill once said, better sorry than safe. And then I go, God damn, that's wise. I go, it was me, you fucker. Well, I got this retarded. No, it's not. It's Churchillian in its wisdom. I got lots of fucking tricks like that. Like I don't want to lie because it's you're not supposed to bear false witness on it. But you gotta lie sometimes so people will like you. And I've cut out my lies. I used to lie sometimes like for no reason, you know, like I go like somebody would come up to me and go, hey, you ever see that movie with Meryl Streep and the horse? And I go, yes. In the back of my head, I go, what the fuck am I lying about over here? Stand to gain nothing by this one. When that fucking guy doesn't start talking about that movie with Meryl Streep and a horse, then of course they always do. They go, hey, who was the guy in that movie that played the woodsman in The Shed? He's in a lot of movies. I can't remember his name. And I'm like, oh. There was a horse. I could just give him information that he already knew. Then there always comes a time, you read that where you're lying and the guy knows you're lying and you know he knows, and that's not a good moment. That doesn't feel good. What the fuck is that? Is that a newfangled machine? It's a what? Oh, it's a debit machine? www, all that shit. I know all that fucking shit. I was just gonna fucking say something too. I can't remember what it was. What was the last thing I said? Does anybody remember that?
Horse.
Oh, lying. Because I have a cool trick that you guys might want to use. If you want to use it, you know. This is what you do. It's a way of telling the truth, right? You can tell the truth, but you can tell the truth about very bad things, you know, that you don't want to really tell the truth about. And what you do is you use a sarcastic accent. You know? So maybe your wife comes up and he goes, hey, did you fuck my sister? You're like, oh yeah, I fucked your sister. Yeah, that's me all over. Matter of fact, I'm gonna fuck her tonight. Oh yeah. That's why I married you, so I can fuck your sister. As a matter of fact, I married you so I can fuck your entire family, regardless of gender. I'm gonna fuck them all. And then I'm gonna move to another town. And find another family that I can fuck. And she's like, no, sorry. No, that's me. That's what I do. I'm the guy that wanders around the country fucking family. No, sorry. No, why don't you the story? I'm the one fucking families out there. So you get to tell the truth, and people apologize to you, and you get to do all these cool things. We all have to go, but I do want to thank you all for coming because I love coming home, and I want to thank you very much. And you're great. At this club to do any kind of crazy shit I want because of one man, and that's Mark Breslin, the owner who's over there. He's a great man. And, he was one of the first comedians I ever saw. Fuck guy saying anything. So he just let us say anything, and that was the coolest. So I just feel like more free in that kind of spot. But I wanted to tell you this. This is a true story. That I went to a sick kids hospital, you know, a children's hospital, and to meet with sick kids because I'm a very, very famous person. And, anyways, the kid had no fucking idea who I was. And, it was horrible. It was like, I used to see this kid's last precious moments spouting my biography. And there was an evening at the Improv. I think maybe the room, he had a little dementia or something. But anyways, this is the true part of it. That was true too. But the true thing is he asked me to, I finally got through to his cancer-riddled brain enough to convince him that I was a stand-up comedian, or as he called it, a joker. So he said, I have a joke for you, and will you tell it when you do your jokes? So, of course I have to do it, because Babe Ruth, or I don't know. I have to do it. I promised him, So here's his joke, and then I will leave you. But here's his joke. He says, a dog goes to a place to send a telegram, right? And so the telegram guy goes, what do you want to put on your telegram? So the dog goes, woof, 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 woof. So the guy writes it down, and then the guy goes, oh, I notice you only have 9 words here. He goes, we have a deal here. 10 words or less is the same price. Would you like me to add a woof? And then the dog goes, but that wouldn't make any sense.